to another episode of What's New in Beauty. My name is Nia Lee, and I'm super excited to have you guys here. And I'm just really excited to talk about this topic, which I feel like has bled into so many episodes of What's New in Beauty, and just kind of how this app has really just completely impacted the beauty industry in a way that I don't even think anybody could have ever come to terms with. And that is, of course, TikTok and the world of beauty and TikTok, and how it is just become such a formula for beauty brands to gain so much success on TikTok. And then, of course, having opportunities to go viral, having their sales spiked. And this really stemmed from an article that just came out on Vogue. And I have some interesting thoughts about this just as a whole as well, right? Vogue is this huge publication. They've been around for decades. They're so revered. And when you think about Vogue and how much they've kind of shifted their perspective and what is, what they think is cool versus what's not, it's not so, and I'll even just say this for so many high fashion magazines, companies, these companies have had to completely pivot from, that high fashion talk to now just being so completely, I'll just say high fashion, high beauty, like high-end beauty, let's just say. They've had to shift their perspective so much to kind of really feed in and really be a part of the conversation that is this new millennial Gen Z way of trying to get people's attention. And because apps, of course, like Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest and Snapchat and however you want to name it, and let's just say YouTube is in there too, I think so much of these publications have had to understand the assignment and say, listen, like, we cannot be left out of this conversation. And this article from Vogue is essentially that, right? The article is titled, "These are the viral beauty products that took over TikTok in 2021. Mind you, 2021 is not done yet, and there's still lots and lots of time. But the fact that Vogue could even come together and put together this list is absolutely insane. But then, as we're going to go into these products and document them, because I want to talk about these products. Some of these products I've already talked about on What's New in Beauty as well. So this is very exciting. Some of the products I actually use, not from TikTok, I will say, but have seen them go viral, have seen people go crazy over them. And I'm just also just really interested in the world of just like beauty and TikTok and how synonymous it is. So honestly, even just Googling beauty and TikTok, so many articles come up. And these are recent articles, mind you. These are things that have been out for a few days, 7 days, a week, 2 weeks. These are still very current topics that people are having conversations about. And just like as a whole, like obviously this Vogue article is number one, but then you have things like TikTok's frozen beauty blender hack made my pores disappear. You know what I mean? Like that, I think that's very interesting. Then you have like blush sales exploding due to TikTok underpainting trend, which to me, when you think about even just underpainting and how much that like can be attributed to very much old school makeup techniques, let's just even just say it's just drag techniques, right? Drag queen technique. I think so much of that has been really just like infused and just influenced more by TikTok, because the app has well over 1 billion people now, I believe. And so many people go to that app for entertainment. Like, I think the reason why it's been able to stand the test of time is because when you go on TikTok, you don't really go on TikTok for like what you do on Instagram, right? Instagram is about the flex. It's about, business for a lot of people, but TikTok is still this really fun, cool place that you can go learn a lot. A lot of people who I've just had conversations with about TikTok as a whole, the reason why they love it is because they get so much education out of the app, things that they probably wouldn't have seen elsewhere, because so many people are doing the research for them, right? Then you have other things like, 2021 weirdest TikTok beauty trends. You got TikTok famous beauty products from 2021 that are actually worth it. You got 30 fashion and beauty items that went viral on TikTok in 2021. I tried TikTok's viral jade roller hack. Like, so many things have been so synonymous about beauty and TikTok. It's actually kind of insane. And it's also very interesting. Like, even this one too, e.l.f. Cosmetics launches holiday TikTok movie. Like, where is that even coming from? You know what I mean? Like, I'm so intrigued by so many of this, because to me, I'm really just thinking to myself, like, how much has TikTok been such an influence in the beauty world, right? Like, you even have things like the TikTok famous mini beauty blender washing machine is on sale for under $10. Like, you have so many brands that are benefiting from this app, right? And something that I really just wanted to point out that I really enjoy. If you guys don't know, Glow Recipe, very well-known brand. I believe the thing that really put them on the map was like their watermelon jelly mask serum facial situation. But they've been around for quite some time. They're in Sephora. They're killing it. They said as a beauty brand, once you go viral on TikTok, it immediately converts to sales like never before, which I think, and this is a Forbes article, by the way. So this is something that they're talking about, you know, and letting you know, hey, if you're a beauty brand and you're not on TikTok, you're kind of missing out a little bit. You know what I mean? Because there's so much people on TikTok, right? And then if you are someone to go viral, let's just say, you know, you have an opportunity here to make some money. You know what I mean? And aside from there being the TikTok Creator Fund and whatever that may be, as a beauty brand, like your whole goal is not to, you know, quote unquote, you know, just be a regular creator. Like you really want to be in the fabric of like where your customers are, where your consumers are, where your audience and community are. And I think brands like Glow Recipe, I think like brands like, you know, even Used to the People, Fenty, let's just say like Starface, like so many brands have found the secret sauce in really cultivating. I'll even throw like Versed in there as well, because they have found a way to really be so connected to their community in a way that like you probably could never do on any other social media platform, because there's a little bit of a disconnect. And with TikTok, it feels like everything is so personal. And something that I really also wanted to point out here as well was that there was a video, I believe, with Glamzilla that talked about skincare secrets. And again, you know, other creators, they were talking about other products. And apparently Glamzilla's original video exceeded 1.9 million views. And again, these were these are unpaid organic posts. So I think there's so much to talk about here in the world of TikTok and beauty, and why I even think at the end of the day that like most brands who aren't on TikTok, which I think a lot of brands are, like I just saw, like, you know, I couldn't read the full article because there's a paywall, but I just saw like a headline, you know, like why brands like L'Oreal and Benefit are killing it on TikTok. And I think, of course, like, obviously, you know, when you have the money to do so, but I don't even think it's really the money. You know what I mean? Because like I said, there's a lot of brands who have been around for, you know, decades that still just don't understand the assignment, right? Obviously, like the whole, you know, issue, I believe it was like there was an advent calendar that went out that a lot of people were kind of upset about. I believe it might have been Vogue. I could be wrong. Actually, let me just go quickly double check, you know, that why everybody was so mad about this like advent calendar and like why. Oh yeah, it was Chanel, TikTok, and the beauty advent calendar. This is in the New York Times. Like, this is what I mean, how TikTok has such a, you know, chokehold, you know, on the beauty industry. And another thing I'll add to this as well too is it just goes back to people adding in their own 2 cents and really just kind of having the opportunity to really be the people that are having these discussions. Because, you know, if let's just say Chanel decided to put out this advent calendar in like a Nordstrom, I think everybody would be excited about it, probably buy it, all that. But you have TikTok now that's kind of like, you know, this is a scam, lots of waste. Why does this look so cheap? Like that was the number one thing I saw a lot of people having about the conversation about the Chanel advent calendar, by the way, about like, you know, people being like, you know, it's not worth the hype, you know, some people being like, hey, is it worth the hype? And a lot of people were just kind of like, you know, that wasn't it. But yeah, if you guys haven't seen that video, apparently it has over 50 million views about this lovely lady who actually, again, reviewed the advent calendar. And yeah, it's just, to me, TikTok has a huge chokehold on the beauty community. It's also interesting as well how much the beauty industry has kind of shifted over to TikTok. Like, I think people now look at TikTok as an opportunity to community build, and versus, you know, before it used to be, oh, Instagram was about community building, right? Which in a way it is. I think when you have any sort of beauty brand, it's important to be, you know, if you can be on all channels, especially if, you know, you're popping and you're making millions out here, you can afford to be on all channels. But it's like, where are you really going to get the nitty gritty realness, the conversations, the community, the replies, the virality that you probably wouldn't get anywhere else? You know what I mean? And so bringing it all back to the Vogue article, because a lot of things on this list, I believe there's about like 10 or 15 items on this list, all went viral on TikTok in 2021. Some of them, like I said, I'm aware about, some of them I'm not. And I've also just seen people talk about these products as well. And I think the interesting thing to talk about even with this is that once you see one person talk about something going viral on TikTok, a beauty product, let's just say, it's like it's everybody's then goal right after to now try that viral thing. And it's usually like is this worth the hype? You know, here I'm trying the viral thing on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like everything becomes this like circle essentially. And the circle just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so first up on the Vogue article here, talking about the viral beauty products that took over TikTok in 2021. The first one is the Dior Addict Lip Glow Oil, which I believe I remember seeing this video. And I think I actually remember seeing the actual product go pretty viral. And what I'll say to this as well too, which I love about TikTok, is that if let's just say you are somebody who is looking for this viral Dior Addict Lip Glow Oil, you could literally type this into TikTok. And the good thing is about it, like the hashtags work. Like the hashtags are affluent on TikTok. You can literally find everything. So the article itself actually links to, you know, everybody getting super excited about it, and actually links to all the videos that are in this section of this glow oil. Like, yes, there's tons of videos here and there, but to me, what I'm just really interested in more so in anything is just like the simple fact that like something like this can start off with just like being really excited about. There's like, how many likes are here? I think it's 68.6K, 445 comments. That's ridiculous to me. And over 1,000 shares, which is pretty insane. And what I also love to see as well is like when brands, you know, have products that go very viral, and let's just say they don't pay an influencer to try out the product by any means. I love seeing the brands actually getting involved and engaged and being like, you know, thanks so much for trying it out. Or like, oh my God, these colors look so good on you. Like you can tell that like these brands have a pulse in the beauty industry. And I think that's also like why certain brands pop more than others. Like obviously a brand like Dior is going to be, you know, Dior's fine. You know, they don't need the virality of TikTok, let's just say, to be successful. But it definitely puts them on the map again because it's like, a lot of these, like, let's just say high-end brands, right? Like, even just personally for me, I'm not going to hold you. I'm a big liar. I was going to say I'm not checking for Dior, but that's a lie because the Dior Backstage foundation is fire. If anyone has ever tried it before, it to me is probably up there with, like, my top 3 flawless foundations. The second one would be the Make It Forever Matte Velvet Skin, and then first would actually be Maybelline Fit Me, which shout out to the drugstore. But again, the girls aren't really checking for Dior like that, but what I find really interesting is that with this Dior Addict Lip Glow Oil, so many people were excited about this. I saw everybody and their mom trying this. Did it make me excited to buy it? Not really, because I don't need to spend... how much is this lip oil? I do not need to spend $35 on a Dior lip oil just to say that I got it when Vaseline exists and other affordable indie brands are creating lip oils, but you know, I love it. I love that this was, again, a brand that, you know, got the opportunity to shine, especially a high end. I find a lot of the times it's a little bit more of those indie brands that kind of go viral. But to me, and again, when I say indie, I don't mean indie like, you know, people don't know about them. I'm talking like these are like the top tier indie brands that maybe don't like sell at a Sephora yet, but are very successful in what it is that they do, let's just say. Another actual product that went viral on TikTok was... And I actually have to say this. I actually remember somebody telling me that they bought this product because of TikTok. And it's the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Contour Wand, which I'll say this. The Charlotte Tilbury products, I've never fully been interested in them. And I also don't believe like a lot of the products actually like suit my skin tone. So I'm not checking for Charlotte Tilbury like that. But I know the girls love her. I know the girls and guys love her. And it says this, that between Gen Z stars and Madison Beer, we certainly haven't stopped hearing about Charlotte Tilbury's Hollywood Contour Wand, or the Beauty Light Wand for that matter. And actually what I like about this product as well too is that, you know, it's definitely, again, a product that has been around for Charlotte Tilbury for quite some time now. Like, it's actually quite interesting to me how like some of these products that go viral on TikTok, these products have been around for a long time already. And it's like they get some sort of like jolt of resurgence because TikTok and Gen Z stars, and let's just say like, you know, huge influencers, make the decision to like talk about it in like a YouTube video or like a Vogue video. You know, when those celebrities do those kind of videos where they show, you know, that they're real and that they do their own makeup or whatever, like, although, like, I see it, you know what I mean? But I'm just kind of like, okay, that's, you know, we get it. You mostly get your makeup done by a makeup artist. But it's interesting to kind of see it because we're all so interested to see what people are using on a regular basis and to know that, like, mega influencer Madison Beer and, like, other Gen Z stars are using this Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood contour wand. I mean, you know, it's great. The girls say it's pigmented. They say it's also blendable as well, too. And I think what people really like about this wand, and I believe it's this contour wand, is that it has like a bit of like a squishy end. I don't know how to pretty much announce it. It's kind of like a sponge end, I believe. And it's very creamy. It's very blendable. Like I said, I've never personally tried it, but I've seen people go goo goo gaga over it. You have another thing here, the Innisfree Dewy Glow Jelly Cream with Jeju Cherry Blossom. So this is actually interesting. And I'll say this, like, shout out to Korean Beauty for always holding it down. Like, the people will always find a way to be excited about Korean Beauty. And Innisfree to me is, I wouldn't say they're drugstore. Like, they definitely have, you know, more expensive pricing with some of their products. But I would say, like, they do have so many products that you could get really obsessed with them. And I would say they're probably, like, the most universally accepted, but also, like, accessible Korean beauty brands that, like, people can, like, fully pronounce their names and, like, it's no issue. And, you know, it's not so Korean that you're like, oh my God, I don't know how to, like, you know, understand it, let's just say, or like the writing or the ingredients isn't Korean, but like, it's so, I don't want to say Americanized either. Like, it's so accepted by North America is what I'm pretty much trying to say. But what I really love more so than anything, and I've used Innisfree in the past and I love Innisfree, I think they have a really great way of just making Korean beauty so accessible to so many people and making it also like an opportunity for you, for someone who's maybe like not into Korean beauty, to be into Korean beauty, because so they have so many products, so many different lines for different skin, let's just say, concerns, but also just like right down from creating like a dewy glow jelly cream, you know what I mean, with the cherry blossom. I think that's very innovative and I think that's very fun. Again, this went viral on the platform, and again with other You to the People products as well too, with other Innisfree products too. But to me, what I'm just really excited about is more people being introduced to Korean beauty, especially Innisfree, because like I said, I feel like they're so accessible, but they're also so different. And I think it can also open up an opportunity for people to just be more aware of a really dope brand like Innisfree and to, you know, open it up with this jelly cream. Like, I don't know. I think this is really dope and I think this is very cool. I actually want to see it in action as well too, because I don't think I've ever seen this product fully in action, but I'm interested to kind of just see. Oh, and I didn't actually know that they sell at Sephora. That's interesting. Very good to know. So I'll also say this as well too, like there's certain brands to me that, you know, that get that virality. It's because, again, they're, you know, they're not completely unknown. You know, they might sell at Sephora or they might sell at like Walmart or Ulta or Target, or they're a celebrity beauty brand. You know what I mean? Like there's always going to be some sort of a way for them to kind of get the light. But for me, I think that was very interesting to note. There's also Chanel Mirror Duo as well. If you look at the hashtag TikTok made me buy it or TikTok made us buy it, like it's a very interesting hashtag because you'll see all these interesting products that people, you know, were essentially like, you know, wooed by TikTok essentially to go ahead and go buy. But it's a compact mirror. It's $50. $50 for a compact mirror is ridiculous considering you can get that at the dollar store. But I mean, hey, it's Chanel. You get the logo, you get the luxury, and that's what people are really looking for at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Because they want to stunt. They want to show that they can afford it. Some other products here that, again, I was aware of and that I saw was the One Size Turn Up the Base Versatile Powder Foundation. So I was actually very interested to see this on the list because this was a product that was kind of new-ish. Like, I remember, like, One Size, if you guys don't know, is actually Patrick Starr's beauty brand. And Patrick Starr, well-known beauty influencer, has been in the game for, I think, almost 10 plus years now. I would even chalk it up to maybe 15 or 20. But OG in the game, when his brand launched, he actually launched right into Sephora and actually did an episode about this, talking about how Sephora has been so keen on bringing in influencer brands, you know, everything from Patrick Starr to Patrick Ta to Hiram, to Addison Rae to Jackie Aina. Like, it's very interesting to see how Sephora has, you know, completely adopted that. But to know that this powder actually went viral on TikTok is also awesome. And I actually remember seeing people actually, you know how they do in like the TikTok videos where they'll do like a green screen photo of like the actual reaction, and then the person watching the video will actually try it out. So I actually remember somebody trying this out, and what they really loved about it was, one, that it was a powder foundation, and everyone was kind of like, are powder foundations making a comeback? And it's like, yes, they are making a comeback. But with this Patrick Starr one size, turn up the base, versatile powder, it was really great to see the coverage and how buttery smooth it was. And of course, they sell at Sephora, so, you know, it's always going to be an opportunity for people to try it as well. There's also the COSRX Advanced Snail 96 Mucin Power Essence. I remember that going on TikTok, that going viral on TikTok, and so many people being excited about that. What else is on this list? Oh my God. We have to talk about it, y'all. We have to talk about the Caudalie Instant Detox Mask. I just need a moment of silence because this mask has been around with Caudalie for a minute. And I believe at the time that they created this whole TikTok buzz, I mean, I might be coming out of left field by saying this, but I think, you know, I don't think I'm like so coming, you know, I don't think I'm so far out of left field, was that, you know, when you have these meetings, right? When you have these like marketing meetings, essentially, sometimes it's kind of like you create this idea of virality, like that's the whole vibe. And, you know, you send out products to influencers, you do paid sponsorships, and it's like you kind of give them the script to kind of essentially allow the real virality to happen. So let me break down exactly what I mean. The Caudalie Instant Detox Mask. I literally saw every influencer, whether it was on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, talk about this. They would say it like in one sentence. They would say, this is the viral Caudalie Instant Detox Mask. And as somebody who has worked in the beauty industry, I used to work at a beauty bar, and we actually used to sell Caudalie. This was a mask that Caudalie had for a minute, right? So this wasn't like a new product, let's just say, right? It's a clay mask. It's lovely on the skin. The whole kind of exciting thing, the reason why it went viral, is that you can, quote unquote, seemingly see your pores kind of coming through in the mask. And it removes impurities. It illuminates the skin in 10 minutes. Like, that was the selling piece. And I saw so many influencers get paid to essentially do like advertisements essentially for this mask, but to specifically call it the viral Caudalie Instant Detox Mask. So what I'm essentially saying is, I think when Caudalie made the decision to like put a lot of hype on this mask, whether or not they started to see a little bit of the buzz on TikTok, it's like they immediately, because actually very interesting, I'm going to pivot for 2 seconds, because I also remember another brand recently creating a product based on somebody's random video, let's just say they saw on TikTok, talking about like a defect they had in their product, listening to that person, and then creating an actual product to supplement that need, right? And I thought that was really great, and I thought that was really interesting, because to me, it's like, wow, these brands are actually listening to people. Like, they're not just completely, you know, clueless. And again, mind you, they're not listening to like, you know, the person that has, you know, 10 likes here, 30 views. They're looking at people who are like really gaining popularity based on their product. You know what I mean? And I saw something as well, like they got her, you know, into the campaign, you know, when they launched the product. And I thought that was really great, because it shows again that they're so focused on it being an authentic connection, an authentic partnership and collaboration. So again, what I'm saying to this as well, like Caudalie to me seems like the type of brand that said, like, we see a little bit of buzz happening right now. Let's see how we can capitalize on it and start actually, you know, paying influencers to start saying, you know, hey, this is the viral Caudalie Instant Detox Mask, essentially. So like, I don't know, to me, that's kind of what I feel like it is. But I saw a lot of people talk about that mask specifically. Oh my God, the Clinique Almost lipstick. This was probably the thing that I feel like this has gone viral numerous amounts of time on TikTok, where essentially it's the shade Black Honey. It goes on very sheer. It's got a berry hued pigment. looks good on every single skin tone. I think I remember seeing like Nima Tang try it out. I think I remember seeing like other influencers try it out, and like it comes out differently on every skin tone, which makes it really awesome. And it's something that you don't realize is going to be so pigmented until you actually put it on. And it's a beautiful lip tint. It's kind of glossy a little bit too. There's 2 shades. And to me, I just saw a lot of people get into this. And like I said, like even in this article here with Vogue, it said, while Clinique's Almost Lipsticks has been around for years, it went viral this year, which like to me is just like, again, reiterating how things all of a sudden that have been household names for years, let's just say, and everyone just kind of like knew it, you know what I mean? Like everybody knew this thing was like a really dope product. It's like as soon as one person talks about it on TikTok, then 5 people, then 10 people, then 100, then 500, it's like, wow, we really need to capitalize on this. The Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide Dewdrops. I don't remember this going viral, but I remember talking about this on What's New in Beauty. But again, Glow Recipe, again, is one of those brands, you know, as I mentioned in the beginning, that like has gone viral on TikTok, and they really, you know, sales really pick up for them in a great way. And, you know, everyone loves Glow Recipe because the packaging is really cute and everyone's really excited about it. This is another product I saw a lot of people try out, a lot of people get excited for. The Revlon Oil Absorbing Volcanic Stone Roller. So essentially it's like a little roller ball, and you put it over your oily skin. It absorbs the oil. It mattifies the skin without actually removing makeup, which a lot of people I saw try this. Like I literally just watched a video with somebody try this out like a week ago. It's actually pretty insane. Oh my God. I'm literally saying, oh my God, about all this because like I'm aware about all these things going viral, but I'll say this, the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Liquid Blush, very shocked that this got viral on TikTok. And I remember the likes of Jackie Aina using it. I remember the likes of just people going insane about this blush. Mind y'all, I love Rare Beauty, have always loved Rare Beauty. Like from the very get-go, I'm literally looking at the 2 blushes I have right now. My favorite one is Joy. And what I love about the Rare Beauty blushes, and again, I've been talking about the Rare Beauty blushes for so long that to me, I'm very shocked that they kind of got viral, you know, on TikTok. So many people love that it's pigmented literally in one drop. And I would say this stuff. I'd literally be like, oh my, but again, I didn't record it and I didn't put it on TikTok. So I'm like not part of it. And this is always an interesting thing to know. It's like if you didn't put it on TikTok, it's like it didn't even happen. You know what I mean? And I think there's something to be said about that more so than anything. And again, with this Rare Beauty blush, this, you know, soft pinch liquid blush, so pigmented, so juicy. Again, I always say this. I've been on the Rare Beauty blushes from day one, but it doesn't really matter because everybody else is just super duper obsessed with it. But what I love about the blushes is that they're so pigmented, they're so rich, and the girls are obsessed. The girls and guys are obsessed. And to me, it's like if the product is solid quality, I'm all the way here for it. All the way here for it. Oh my God, the Dyson Airwrap. Everybody went crazy for the Dyson Airwrap. Like who knew? Who knew the company that made vacuums was really going to kill it in the beauty sector? I didn't see that coming, and you know, I got to shout it out. And of course, we have to talk about the Peter Thomas Roth Instant Firmex Eye Temporary Eye Tightener. I actually spoke about this in an episode of What's New in Beauty because what I loved is that Peter Thomas Roth himself actually commented on the actual original video of Trinidad, who actually, you know, was the reason why this actual product went viral. Again, a product that has been around for years. And all of a sudden, we're seeing this very, you know, degular, almost like, you know, she just hit record on the TikTok app, and showed the difference between like one side of her eye using the eye tightener, you know, eye cream essentially, versus the other one, and how it completely got rid of her eye bags. And it was just insane. Like I actually couldn't even believe it. I actually remember a friend of mine was like, have you seen this? And I was like, holy moly, this is insane. I can't even believe this is a real thing. So again, what I also loved was how even just Peter Thomas Roth capitalized on this going viral on TikTok. They actually started talking about it more on their social media. I think they did like a gift with purchase. I think like it sold out. Actually, it sold out on Sephora and it sold out on Ulta, which, you know, again, look how crazy TikTok is with just like making these products sell out, like these beauty brands. And again, these are not beauty brands telling people to create these videos. These are organic, unpaid people who are just seeing these products, talking about it on these platforms. And it's like all of a sudden the brands want to cut these people a check. And to me, I think that's just true, genuine marketing. like let's just say it's influencer marketing, right? But to me, I just think it's genius. I also spoke about this one as well too, the KVD Beauty Good Apple Skin Perfecting Hydrating Foundation Balm. This blew up on TikTok. I also remember Kat Von D capitalizing on this as well too. The big thing for this was everybody completely showing that it was super duper full coverage in one swatch, and everybody try this out. I remember it sold out almost. And again, this was a new product that Kat Von D launched. So again, something very interesting to note with this is that Kat Von D didn't pay, or KVD Beauty didn't actually, again, pay anybody to capitalize on this. I think they might have sent, I don't even actually know if they sent any free product out, because you can get KVD Beauty at Sephora. So typically when new products launch, it's very rare that brands will send out huge PR packages, especially when it can be so accessible to everybody. But what I loved about this was just genuine love. People were like, this foundation's it. KVD Beauty, where can I get it? It's been sold out for weeks now. When they restocked, I think they sold out again. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing to see. And to me, like, at the end of the day, Vogue, you know, even putting this together in one kind of an article just shows you at the end of the day that these brands are paying attention, that these huge, you know, publications are paying attention, that like everybody is aware how viral their products can go at any point in time. And it's like, I'm pretty sure all these brands are kind of like waiting patiently to see when their brands are going to go viral. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned more so than anything is just like being on top of it. Like as a brand who, you know, being on top of it by like having a TikTok, right? Like when people are talking about your brand, let's just say, and again, I'm getting into my teacher mode, y'all. I'm getting into my marketing teacher bag right now, right? So anybody who's listening to this that is, you know, a beauty brand owner, product base, like really just like listen to the last couple things I got to say here, because I know I've been chatting your ear off. But I think it's super important, especially if you're a brand that has a dope product out there. Or again, maybe you've just had products for a long time. Get on these platforms, make a TikTok, right? Start posting some of your old videos, you know, make sure that, or just start posting videos in general, like old, new, current, present, whatever it may be. Repost videos that people have made about your brand. Like all you got to do is search through these hashtags, right? Especially, you know, just to kind of see if your brand is even being talked about or is even in the conversation. And then really try to make yourself a part of that conversation, right? The reason why brands like L'Oreal and Benefit are killing it is because they're not saying, oh, well, we don't need to be on TikTok because, you know, TikTok's for the people. It's like, these are the people. These are the people that are going to buy your products, and they want to even tag you as the brand, you know what I mean, when they're trying out your products, because people are going to ask them, right? Like the thing about TikTok is everyone's so inquisitive. Everybody's asking. Everybody's so aware of everything. So it's like you want to be one of those brands that people are just like ready for, right? If I'm typing at Benefit or if I'm typing at Glow Recipe, and let's just say your brand doesn't come up, it's like, okay, like I don't even know if I want to even give the brand the shout out anymore, you know? Maybe they'll use the hashtag instead. But always make sure you're ahead of the game, right? Have a TikTok ready. Start posting videos. Start building it, especially if you're a notable brand. Like this is so important for you to really be front facing so that when something does go viral and your name is included, your product is included, you can get on top of that and you can even make more sales, because what will happen is you can now partner with that person that made your product more, you know, famous, essentially, like that allowed it to go viral in the first place. And on top of that as well, too, I think there's also an opportunity for you to just show other people that you're paying attention and you're listening. Because I think one of the biggest things that a lot of people are kind of jaded about with the beauty industry is that it feels like the industry has been made up by a whole bunch of men that don't listen, that are not very engaged, that don't even really use any of the products they're essentially, you know, promoting and putting out into the world. But if you can be somebody who is very just aware of things that are happening and seeing how you can kind of like capitalize on it, but not even that, just like really listening to people who may or may not be the reason as to why your products go viral in the first place, and trying to see how you can partner with them in a very genuine, authentic way, right? Don't try to undermine that creator. Don't try to like, swindle them or try to, do something that's kind of shady, because then they're going to call you out about it. You know what I mean? Because, and the thing about TikTok is like, it's brutal over there. Like, people do not care. If y'all out here thinking that Instagram is, pretty spicy and pretty dicey, TikTok is worse, because the whole app is really all about just being real, just being yourself, no glitz and glamour. Like, the feed doesn't have to be perfect. Like, everybody's just looking for realness. So I think at the end of the day, one of your biggest things that you can do as a brand is just be, get ready, stay ready so you never have to get ready. You know what I mean? Meaning, like, you have a TikTok, you're aware, you're already building a community, you're already putting out original content, collaborating with influencers. And then on top of that as well, too, making sure that you are so much a part of that conversation that, let's just say, when your product does go viral, you have everything you need to continue on with that virality. You have products in stock. You're now, adding in other opportunities, having an email list. Let's just say the product goes out of stock. You get people on the email list so you can email them right when it comes back in stock. Or again, partnering with these influencers, or these just, some of these people aren't even influencers. Some of these people are just degular people that are talking about these products. And it's, one person becomes 5 people. Now 5 people become 20, and 20 becomes 50. And it becomes it's almost like it becomes something that's so unreal, you can't even believe it. But it's like, how can we really just kind of be ahead of this and also get excited about it, and obviously show the community that you're paying attention, and not just your community, but everybody else, because everybody's so in tune with what everyone's doing. And so I think this conversation about beauty and TikTok and virality is just so interesting. As you can see, I'm like getting out of breath talking about it. But hopefully you guys enjoyed us talking all things beauty, TikTok, virality. And let me know some products that you guys are excited about that maybe you learned about on TikTok, or that you're maybe interested in trying as well too. And, if TikTok has really made you buy it, has TikTok been such an has TikTok been such an influential thing for you as somebody who maybe may or may not know a lot about the beauty world, or maybe you do, but now TikTok has put you on and you feel kind of like more intrigued to be on the app, because it's like, what else can I find? What else interesting thing, that has been around for years that I can now be put onto because of TikTok. And so without further ado, y'all, thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode of What's New in Beauty. I cannot wait to catch you in a next one.